Sutta said on hearing these words of the sage Vishnu, the slayer of Madhu demon laughed and sympathetically replied, bearing in mind the overwhelming power of Shiva. Vishnu said, O sage, you can go to the place where you wish. I shall do what is beneficent to you in the manner of a physician doing what is good to the patient, since you are a great favorite of mine. After saying thus, Vishnu blessed the sage with a form like his own and the face of Hari, i.e. the monkey, since the word Hari means a monkey also. The Lord then vanished. The sage, thus consoled, became highly delighted on receiving Hari's form. He was contented but did not know the scheme behind the scene. The great sage Narada hastened to the place where Svayarvara was to be held and where the princes had assembled. O great Brahmins, the Svayamvara hall, splendidly decorated and graced by so many princes, shone like another council chamber of Indra. Narada too went in and sat down in the hall of his king. With his mind surging with love, he began to think like this: she will choose only me since I am in Vishnu's form. The poor sage did not know the ugly character of his face. The men assembled there saw the sage only in his old form. O Brahmins, the princes, and others did not know the difference created therein. Two of the attendants of Rudra knew this difference. They had come there in the guise of Brahmins in order to protect him. Considering the sage a fool, the two attendants sat near the sage and began to mock at him, seemingly conversing between themselves. See Narada's features as splendid as Vishnu's, but the face as that of a monkey, deformed and awful. Being deluded by Kama, he wishes to marry the princess. With these and other veiled remarks they mocked at him. The sage, overwhelmed by love, did not heed their whisper. He went on gazing at the princess Ramati and was eager to get her. In the meantime, the princess had come out of the harem surrounded by ladies in waiting. The comely maiden came to the hall. With a beautiful golden garland in her hands, the princess of auspicious features shone in the middle of the Svayamvara hall like goddess Lakshmi. The princess, in search of a suitable bridegroom, went round the hall with the garland in her hands. On seeing the sage with the face of a monkey and the body of Vishnu, she was infuriated. Averting her eyes, she went elsewhere, being distressed in her mind. Failing to find a bridegroom of her choice, she was afraid. She remained in the middle of the hall and did not put the garland round the neck of anyone. Meanwhile Vishnu came there in the guise of a king. He was not seen by anyone. Only the princess saw him. Then, on seeing Vishnu, her lotus-like face beamed. The comely lady put the garland round his neck. Lord Vishnu, in the guise of a king, took her with him and vanished from there immediately back to his own abode. The assembled princes lost their hope of getting Srimati. The sage, oppressed by love, became excessively agitated. Immediately the two attendants of Rudra, of perfect wisdom, disguised as Brahmins, spoke to Narada. The attendants said, O sage Narada, being deluded by love, you are desirous of getting her. Your effort is in vain. See, your face is as despicable as that of a monkey. Sutta said on hearing their words, Narada was surprised. Deluded by Shiva's Maya, he looked into a mirror. On seeing his face like that of a monkey, he became infuriated. The deluded sage cursed the two attendants, since you had mocked at me, you will become demons born of Brahmanical semen and of that form. On hearing the curse, the two attendants of perfect wisdom remained silent because they knew that the sage was deluded. O Brahmins, they returned to their abode and sitting there quietly went on eulogizing Shiva. They considered everything as Shiva's will. Chapter 4 Narada goes to Vaikuntha and curses Vishnu there. The sages said, Sutta, O Sutta of great intellect, a wonderful tale has been narrated by you. Blessed indeed is the Maya of Shiva. All mobile and immobile things depend upon it. When the two attendants of Lord Rudra had left at their own will, what did the infuriated Narada, the sage disquieted by Kamadeva, do? Sutta said, after cursing the two attendants of Shiva suitably, the sage, still under the earlier delusion, looked into the water and saw that his face was quite normal. It was also due to Shiva's will. He did not wake from the delusion, still again due to Shiva's will. Thereupon, recollecting that it might have been a deception of Hari, he became unbearably infuriated and went to Vishnu. There he angrily poured abusive words blazing like kindled fire, since his wisdom had vanished due to Shiva's will. Narada said, O Vishnu, you are extremely wicked, deceptive enchanter of the world. You are unable to brook others' enthusiastic success. You dabble in illusory tactics and your intentions are always dirty. Formerly you assumed the form of an enchantress and showed your deceptive power. You made the demons drink liquor and not the nectar. If out of pity Shiva had not drunk poison, Vishnu, all your illusory tactics would have been quelled, since you take pleasure only in deception. O Vishnu, a deceptive path is extremely attractive to you. You had never been of saintly nature, but the Lord made you free from control. What is done by Shiva the Supreme Atman does not seem proper. Thinking of your influence and strength when you act independently and seeing the way you go, he has now repented. He has announced that a Brahmin is superior to all, thereby making the Vedas pronounced by him authoritative. O Vishnu, knowing that, I shall now teach you through that power, so that hereafter you will never do such things. You are fearless because till now you have not come into clash with an equally powerful person. Now you will derive, O Vishnu, the fruit of your own deeds. After saying this, the sage, still under the influence of Maya furiously cursed Vishnu, thereby exhibiting the superiority of his Brahmanical power. O Vishnu, the enchanter that you are, you made me distressed for the sake of woman. O Hari, you shall experience misery in that human form which you imitated while proceeding with your deceptive tactics. Your allies will be those whose face you assigned to me. O inflictor of miseries upon others, you shall get the misery of separation from a woman. You shall have the travails of a human being deluded by ignorance. Thus Narada, deluded himself by ignorance, cursed Hari. Vishnu quietly accepted the cause, praising the Maya of Samhu. Thereafter Shiva, of great divine sport, withdrew his enchanting Maya, whereby Narada became wise, as before, and free from delusion. When the Maya vanished, he became as intelligent as before, regaining perfect knowledge and becoming free from distress. He was surprised at his own action in the meantime. He cursed himself after repenting again and again. He praised the Maya of Shiva, which could enchant even wise people. On realizing his mistakes due to illusion, Narada, the most excellent of the devotees of Vishnu, fell at his feet. Consoled by Hari and freed from wicked ideas, he said, being deluded and evil-minded, I have spoken many wicked words to you. O Lord, I heaped curses on you. O Master, please make them ineffective. I have committed a great sin. Certainly I will be falling into a hell. O Hari, I am your slave. Please direct me what to do whereby I may destroy my sins and prevent my downfall into hell. Saying thus, The excellent sage once again fell at Vishnu's feet and with the mind purified repented sincerely. Thereupon Vishnu lifted him up and spoke affably and courteously. Vishnu said, "Do not be sorry too much. Undoubtedly you are my true devotee. Dear sage, now listen. I shall tell you what is certainly beneficial to you. You will not fall into hell. Shiva will make you happy. Deluded by your haughtiness you disobeyed the instructions of Shiva. The true bestower of fruits according to the actions, he has given you this result. Be sure in your mind that everything has happened in accordance with Shiva's wish. That Lord Shiva, the Supreme Lord, removes haughtiness. He is the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Atman, existence, knowledge, and bliss. He is free from the three gunas, changes and deviations. He is beyond rajas, sattva, and tamas. He is both saguna and nirguna, with and without attributes. He himself availing of his own Maya manifests into three forms: Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesha. In his attributeless pure form he is glorified as Shiva, the Supreme Atman, Maheswara, the Supreme Brahman, the undecaying, the endless, and Mahadeva. Serving him, Brahma becomes the creator and I the sustainer of the worlds. He himself in the manifestation as Rudra is the annihilator always. Different from Maya, the pure being in the form of Shiva is the Sakshin, cosmic witness, and moving about according to his will and indulging in divine sport he blesses his devotees. O sage Narada, please listen to a good remedy that bestows happiness, removes all sins and yields worldly pleasures and salvation. Cast off all your doubts. Sing the songs of noble glory of Shiva. With your mind not turning to anything else, always repeat the 100 names of Shiva and his hymns. By his japa all of your sins will perish instantaneously. After saying this to Narada, Vishnu continued mercifully. O sage, do not be grief-stricken. Nothing has been perpetrated by you. It was Shiva who did everything. There is no doubt in this. It was Lord Maheswara who deluded your splendid intellect and made you suffer on account of love. It was he who made you his mouthpiece and cursed me. In this manner the great conqueror of death, Kala of Kala, always devoted to the uplift of his devotees, made his own conduct of life manifest in the world. There is no other Lord and Master so loving and pleasure-inspiring unto me as Shiva. The same Paramsvara bestows all power on me. O sage, perform his adoration. Worship him always. Hear and sing his glory. Perpetually pay him homage. He who approaches Shiva by means of his body, mind and speech is a great scholar. He is called a living liberated soul. The name Shiva blazing like the forest conflagration reduces mountainous heaps of great sins to ashes without any difficulty. True, it is undoubtedly true. The different kinds of miseries arising from sins shall be destroyed only through the worship of Shiva, and not through other means. He who always seeks refuge in Shiva, O sage, is the real follower of the Vedas, a meritorious soul and a blessed scholar. He must resort to him by means of his body, speech, and mind forever. The different sacred rites of those who have full faith in the worship of Shiva, the destroyer of Tripura, become fruitful instantaneously. O great sage, there are not so many sins in the world as the worship of Shiva is capable of destroying. Innumerable heaps of sins like that of the slaughter of a Brahmin perish by remembering Shiva. Truth, I am telling you the truth. The sins, that usually cause worldly existence, relating to persons who cross the ocean of worldly existence in the raft of Shiva's names, perish undoubtedly. The sins which are at the root of worldly existence are destroyed certainly by the acts of Shiva's name. Persons scorched and distressed by the conflagration of sins must drink the nectar of Shiva's names. Without that there is no peace and tranquility to those who are scorched and distressed by the sin's wildfire. Those who are drenched by the downpour of the nectarine names of Shiva are not distressed in the midst of the conflagration of worldly existence. There is no doubt in this. Immediate salvation can be achieved only by the people who have performed penance in various lives. They alone will have devotion for Shiva, the cherished consort of Parvati. Men who frequently indulge in passions of love and hatred will never have devotion for Shiva. The devotion for Shiva that extends to other deities is futile. It is necessary to be exclusively devoted to Shiva. It is my conviction that salvation is easy of access only to the person who has exclusive and unflinching devotion for Shiva and not for any other. Even if he commits endless sins, he will be freed from them all, if he has true devotion for Shiva. There is no doubt about it. Just as trees in the forest are reduced to ashes in the wildfire, so also the sins of the devotees of Shiva are burnt away in the fire of Shiva's name. He who is ever devoted to the worship of Shiva with his body purified by the ash, definitely crosses the terrible and endless expanse of the ocean of worldly existence. A man serving the three-eyed Shiva is never sullied by sins even if he misappropriates a Brahmin's wealth or kills many Brahmins. After going through all the Vedas, this has been definitely concluded by ancestors that the sole means of destroying worldly existence is the worship of Shiva. From now onwards you shall always worship Lord Shiva, who is Shambha and Sada Shiva, with care, effort, and due observance of the rules of procedure. Dusting profusely and carefully your body from head to foot with the particles of ashes, you shall perform the japa of the six-syllabled mantra of Shiva, well known in all the Vedas. You shall wear on the different parts of your body Rudraksha beads pleasing to Shiva, repeating the respective mantras with devotion and observing the rules of procedure. Listen to Shiva's anecdotes forever. Narrate the stories of Shiva always. Strenuously worship the devotees of Shiva again and again. Without blundering ever seek refuge in Shiva, because a perpetual worship of Shiva bestows bliss. Bearing the lotus-like feet of Shiva within your pure heart, carry on at first the pilgrimage to various holy centers of Shiva, O excellent sage. Observing the unrivaled greatness of Shiva, the supreme Atman, O sage, you must next go to Anandavana, which is a great favorite of Shiva. Seeing Shiva, the Lord of the universe there, worship him with devotion. After bowing to him and eulogizing him, you will become free from all doubts. Thereafter you must go to Brahmaloka, O sage, to achieve your wishes. That is my command to you out of love. O sage, after bowing to and specifically eulogizing your father Brahma, you shall ask him many points regarding Shiva's greatness with an endearing mind. Brahma, the foremost among the devotees of Shiva, will narrate to you the greatness of Shiva as well as the hymn of 100 names, out of love. O sage, from now onwards become a devotee of Shiva, solely devoted to Shiva. You will be liberated. Shiva will grant you his special blessings. After advising the sage thus, Vishnu was pleased. Remembering, saluting, and eulogizing Shiva, he vanished from that place. Chapter 5, Narada goes to Kasi. Sada said, O Brahmins, when Vishnu vanished, the excellent sage Narada roamed over the earth seeing Shiva lingas, in the various holy centers, with piety. In the course of his wanderings over the earth, O Brahmins, with his mind full of devotional pleasure he saw many forms of Shiva that confer worldly pleasures and salvation on the devotees. On knowing that Narada of divine vision was wandering over the earth, the two attendants of Shiva approached him who by that time had become pure in mind. They bowed to him and touched his feet. With a desire to secure release from the curse they spoke to him respectfully. The attendants of Shiva said, O celestial sage, son of Brahma, please hear our words. We who formerly offended you are really not Brahmins. O Brahmanical sage, we, your former offenders, are the attendants of Shiva. Induced by Shiva you had cursed us when your mind was deluded by the illusory infatuation for the princess at the Svayarvara. Realizing that the occasion was inopportune we kept quiet then. We reaped the fruit of our own action. No one is to be blamed for it. O Lord, be pleased. Bless us now. Sudha said on hearing the words of the attendants uttered with devotion and respect, the sage replied lovingly, repenting, for his previous fury. Narada said, O attendants of Lord Shiva, most worthy of the respect of good people, please listen to my words now free from delusion. They are true and shall make you happy. Formerly my mind had been depraved. Certainly it was Shiva's will. In that state of delusion and crookedness of the mind I had unfortunately cursed both of you. What I have said is bound to happen. Still, O Ganas, attendants, listen. I shall tell you the way of redemption from the curse. Please forgive my sin now. You will be born as demons from the semen virile of a great sage, and due to his power you will secure the high-level land position of the king of demons endowed with prosperity, strength, and valorous exploits. You will rule over whole of the universe as devotees of Shiva with your sense conquered. You will gain your former position after courting death at the hands of a manifestation of Shiva. Sudha said on hearing these words of the noble-souled Narada, the two attendants of Shiva became delighted and went back to their abode joyfully. Narada too was delighted. Meditating exclusively on Shiva he continued his wanderings over the earth seeing the various holy centers of Shiva personally. Reaching Kasi that excelled all other cities in holiness, which is a favorite resort of Shiva, which easily bestows the favor of Shiva and which is identical with Shiva, the sage became contented. He saw Shiva, the Lord of Kasi, and worshipped him with very great pleasure and love. While staying at Kasi, the excellent sage became contented, he bowed to the Lord, described his glory piously, and remembered him with the flutter of love. Narada then went to the region of Brahma, his mind being highly purified by remembering Shiva. He was eager to know further the principles of Shiva. There he bowed to Brahma with devotion and eulogized him with various prayers. With his mind riveted to Shiva he asked him the good principles of Shiva. Narada said, O Brahma, knower of the form of Brahman, O Pitamaha, the Lord of the universe, by your grace I have heard the greatness of Vishnu entirely and also the path of devotion, of knowledge, of austere penance, of charitable gifts and of holy centers. But I have not understood the principle of Shiva. Hence, O Lord, please explain the rules of his worship and also the various activities of the Lord. O dear sage, how can Shiva who is free from attributes become full of attributes? Since I am deluded by Shiva's Maya, I do not know the principle of Shiva. How did Shiva remain in his pure form before creation? In the middle of creation, how does he sport about? At the time of dissolution, how does he remain? How is he, the benefactor of the world, propitiated? O Brahma, when propitiated, what benefit does he bestow on his devotees and on others? Please satisfy me on all these inquiries. I have heard that the Lord becomes delighted immediately. The merciful great God cannot bear the stress and strain of his devotees. The three deities Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahisa are born as parts of Shiva. Mahisa, having all the parts of Shiva, is Shiva himself. Please tell me all about his manifestation and especially his exploits. O Lord, please narrate the manifestation of Uma and her marriage. Their domestic life, especially their great divine sports and other things which are worthy of mention, should be narrated to me, O sinless one. Parvati's birth and her marriage as well as Guha's birth shall be narrated in detail, O Lord of people. O Lord of universe, this I have heard from many, before, but I am not satisfied. Hence I have sought refuge in you. Please have mercy on me. On hearing these words of Narada, his own son, Brahma, the grandfather of the world, said this. Description of the nature of Mahapralaya and the origin of Vishnu. Brahma said, O Brahman, foremost among the celestial beings, a good matter has been inquired into by you, rendering service to the worlds and desiring their benefit. I shall explain to you the wholesome and salutary principles of Shiva, on hearing which the various sins of the people are destroyed. Neither the principles of Shiva nor his supreme wonderful forms have been understood by me or by Vishnu or by anyone else. At the time of great dissolution, when all the mobile and immobile objects of the world are dissolved, everything gets enveloped in darkness without the sun, planets, and stars. There is no moon. The day and the night are not demarcated. There is no fire, no wind, no earth, and no water. There is no unmanifest primordial being. The whole firmament is one complete void, devoid of all tejas elements. There is no dharma or adharma, no sound, no touch. Smell and color are not manifest. There is no taste. The face of the quarters is not demarcated. Thus when there is pitch darkness that cannot be pierced with a needle, and what is mentioned in the Vedas as the existent and the Brahman is alone present. When the present visible world is not in existence, the Sat Brahman alone is present, which yogins observe perpetually in the inner soul, the inner firmament. It is incomprehensible to the mind. It cannot at all be expressed by words. It has neither name nor color. It is neither thick nor thin. It is neither short nor long. It is neither light nor heavy. There is neither increase nor decrease in it. The Veda says that it envelopes whatever is in a surprising way. It is the splendor, the truth, the knowledge, the eternal and the great bliss. It is immeasurable, propless, changeless, formless, attributeless, perceptible to the yogins, all-pervasive and the sole cause of the universe. It is free from alternatives. It has no beginning. It is free from illusion and its harassment. It has no second. It has neither beginning nor end. It has no development. It is in the form of pure knowledge. People have doubts about giving it a name. That being, then after some time, it is said, wished for a second. The being, having no form of its own, wished to create, in the course of its own sport, an auspicious form of its own endowed with all power, qualities, and knowledge. A form that goes everywhere, that has all forms, that sees all, that is the cause of all, that should be respected by all, that is at the beginning of all, that bestows everything, and that sanctifies everything should be created, so it wished, and hence created that form of Isvara of pure nature. The original being without a second, with neither beginning nor end, that illuminates everything, that is in the form of Cit, pure knowledge, that which is termed Supreme Brahman, the all-pervasive and undecaying, vanished. The manifest form of the formless being is Sadashiva. Scholars of the ancient and succeeding ages have sung of it as Isvara. Isvara, though alone, then created the physical form Shakti from his body. This Shakti did not affect his body in any way. This Shakti is called by various names: Pradhana, Prakriti, Maya, Gunavati, Parat. The mother of Buddhi Tattva, the cosmic intelligence, Vikartivarjita, without modification. That Shakti is Ambika, Prakriti, and the goddess of all. She is the prime cause and the mother of the three deities. She has 8 arms. Her face wears a peculiar splendor, the splendor of 1,000 moons. Thousands of stars perpetually sparkle round her face. She is bedecked in various ornaments. She has various weapons. She is capable of various movements. Her eyes beam like a full-blown lotus. She has a brilliance which could hardly be conceived. She is the generating cause of all. She sprang up singly as Maya. In her union she manifested in various forms. The supreme Purisa is Shiva. He is called Sambhu. He has no other lord over him. He holds the Mandakini, Ganga on his head, and the crescent moon on his forehead. He has 3 eyes. He has 5 faces. He is always joyful. He has 10 arms. He holds the trident. He is as pure and white as camphor. His body is entirely dusted with the ash. That Brahman of the form of Kala, time, together with Shakti, simultaneously created the holy center called Shivaloka. The same is called Kasika, the excellent holy center. It is the seat of salvation shining over and above everything. The holy center is of the nature of extreme bliss, inasmuch as the primordial lovers, supremely blissful, made that beautiful holy center their perpetual abode. O sage, that holy center is never, even at the time of great dissolution, free from Shiva and Shiva, Shakti. Hence it is called Avimita. Since the holy center is the cause of bliss, the Panyaka-bearing Lord, Shiva, called it the blissful forest and later Avimita. O celestial sage, the blissful, 2 deities thus sporting in the forest wished, it is said, for another being to be created. Shiva thought within himself like this: another being shall be created by me. Let him create everything, protect it, and in the end let him dissolve it with my blessing. Having entrusted everything to him, we too, remaining in Kasi, shall roam as we please, keeping only the prerogative of conferring salvation. We can stay happily in this blissful forest, being free from worries of creation. With the consent of Shiva, the Supreme Lord spread the liquorine essence of nectar on his left side, on the 10th limb, nectar which was the outcome of churning the ocean of his mind, wherein thoughts were the waves. The Sattva Guna was the precious gem, Rajas being coral and Tamas crocodile. Thereupon a person came into being who was the most charming one in the 3 worlds, who was calm with sattva guna being prominent, and who appeared to be the ocean of immeasurable majesty. O sage, he was endowed with patience. There was no one comparable to him. He had the eyestry of sapphire. He was glorious with his excellent eyes shining like a lotus. He was having a golden form and features. He wore 2 excellent silk garments of golden color. His arms were brawny and brilliant. He was indefatigable. He bowed to Shiva Paramsvara and said, "O Lord, give me names and assign me my task." On hearing it, Lord Shiva laughed. With words thunder-like in resonance, Lord Shiva addressed the person thus. Shiva said, "You will be famous as Vishnu by name, as you are all-pervasive. You will have many other names conferring happiness on devotees. Perform penance highly conducive to the achievement of the matter in hand, be firm in it." Saying so, the Lord bestowed on him the Vedas through his nostrils. Shiva vanished accompanied by Shakti and his attendants. After due obeisance to Shiva, Vishnu began his great penance. Even after performing the penance for 12,000 divine years, Vishnu could not achieve his desire, the vision of Shiva that confers everything. He became suspicious and respectfully meditating on Shiva pondered, "What shall I do now?" In the meantime the auspicious voice of Shiva was heard. "Perform penance again for removing your doubts." On hearing it, Vishnu performed a terrible penance, for a long time, following the path of meditation. That being Vishnu became enlightened, following the path of meditation. He was delightfully surprised. Oh, what is that true entity? From the body of Vishnu, who thus exerted himself, water currents of various sorts began to flow as a result of Shiva's Maya. O great sage, the supreme Brahman in the form of divine waters pervaded the entire void. A mere contact with the same is destructive of sins. Vishnu, the weary person, went to sleep amidst the waters. He was in that blissful state of delusion for a long time. As approved in the Vedas, his name came to be established as Narayana, having water as abode. Excepting for that primordial being, there was nothing then. In the meantime, the principles too were evolved out of the great soul. O wise one of great intellect, listen to my enumeration of the same. From Prakriti came into being the Maha, cosmic intellect, from Maha, the 3 gunas. Aharkara, the cosmic ego, arose therefrom in 3 forms according to the 3 gunas. The essences, the 5 elements, the senses of knowledge and action too came into being then. O most excellent of sages, I have thus enumerated the principles. All these principles originating from Prakriti are insentient, but not the Purasa. These principles are 24 in number. Vishnu, the Purasa, accepted all these, as was the will of Shiva, and began his sleep in the Brahman. Chapter 7, The Dispute between Brahma and Vishnu. Brahma said, when Lord Narayana continued to sleep, an excellent lotus of huge size came out of his navel as desired by Shiva. It was many yojanas wide and high. It had an endless stalk. The pericarp was of a brilliant hue. It was very beautiful with the brilliance of 10 million suns. It was wonderful, excellent, and worthy of vision, containing tattvas. Exerting himself as before, Shiva, the great Lord, with Parvati as his better half, created me from his right limb. O sage, having deluded me with his illusion, immediately, Shiva in the course of his sport, produced me through the umbilical lotus of Vishnu. Thus it was that I came to be known as lotus-born and conceived in a golden womb. I had 4 faces, red complexion and tripundra mark on forehead. Deluded by his illusion and weakened in knowledge, O dear one, I did not know who the progenitor of my body was, other than the lotus. Who am I? Whence did I come? What is my duty? To whom was I born a son? By whom have I been created? My intellect became confused with these doubts. Then I thought, why shall I be under delusion? It is easy to gain that knowledge. The place of growth of this lotus is below. My progenitor will undoubtedly be there. Thinking thus, I descended from the lotus. O sage, for 100 years the downward trend continued. The source of the lotus was not attained by me. In the doubt-tormented state I became eager to go up onto the top of the lotus. O sage, I climbed up to the lotus by the stalk. But the upper part of the lotus I could not reach. I was disappointed. Another 100 years elapsed in my wandering up the lotus. I stopped a while in that confounded state. Then, O sage, by the will of Shiva, an auspicious voice perform penance was heard from the sky, which dispelled my delusion. On hearing the voice of the sky, I exerted myself for 12 years in performing a terrible penance in order to see my progenitor. At the same time, the 4-armed Lord Vishnu of beautiful eyes suddenly appeared before me in order to bless me. The great Lord was holding the conch, the discus, the mace, and the lotus in his hands. He was wearing the yellow silken cloth and had cloud blue complexion all over his body. He had a crown. He was bedecked in great ornaments. His lotus-like face beamed with pleasure. Such was the Lord, resembling 10 million cupids that I saw, still not out of delusion. At the sight of that beautiful form I was struck with wonder. On seeing the 4-armed Narayana, shining like Kala, of golden hue, the immanent soul of all in that form, of large arms depicting the Sat and Asat in himself, I became delighted. Deluded by the illusion of Shiva, the sportive Lord, I could not recognize my progenitor in him. I addressed him with delight. Who are you? Please tell me. Saying this, I tried to wake the eternal being. When he did not wake up, I tried to wake him up with fiercer and firmer beatings of the hand. Then the Lord, who had self-control, woke up from his bed and sat. He looked up with his pure eyes resembling a wet lotus, due to sleep. As I stood there quietly, the Lord Vishnu spread his brilliance over me. Standing up, he smiled once and spoke these sweet words. Welcome, welcome to you, dear child, O Pitamaha of great brilliance. Do not be afraid. Undoubtedly I shall confer on you all that you desire. O foremost among gods, on hearing these words uttered with a smile, I told Vishnu with my inimical attitude roughed by Rajugana. Brahma said, O faultless one, how is it that you speak of me trivially as dear child, me who am the cause of annihilation of everything, as a preceptor addresses his disciple? I am the creator of worlds, the direct activizer of Prakriti, unborn, the eternal, all-pervasive Brahma. I am born of Vishnu. I am the soul of universe, the originator, creator, and the lotus-eyed. You must explain to me quickly why you speak like this. The Vedas speak of me invariably as self-born, unborn, all-pervasive, grandfather, self-governed, and the excellent supreme being. On hearing these words of Hari, the Lord of Lakshmi became angry and told me thus: Vishnu said, I know you as the creator of the world. For the sake of creation and support you are descended from my undecaying limbs. You have forgotten me, who am a Lord of universe, abiding in waters the salubrious, the supreme soul, invoked by many, praised by many, all-pervasive, imperishable, ruler, the source and origin of universe, the long-armed and the omnipresent Lord. There is no doubt in this that you are born of the lotus from my umbilicus. Of course, it is not your fault. I have exercised my power of illusion over you. O four-faced one, listen to the truth. I am the Lord of all gods. I am the creator, sustainer, and destroyer. There is no powerful person equal to me. O Pitamaha, I am the supreme Brahman, the greatest truth. I am the greatest light. I am the great Atman. I am the omnipresent. O four-faced one, whatever is seen or heard today in the whole universe, whether mobile or immobile, is enveloped by me. It was I who created the 24 manifest tattvas. I have created the atoms. I have created the qualities of anger, fear, etc. Powerful and sportive, I have created their parts and limbs. I have created the intellect and the threefold ego therein. I have evolved the 5 subtle elements, the mind, the body, and the sense organs. I have created the elements ether, etc., and all created beings out of sheer sport. Realizing this, O Brahma, the Lord of subjects, seek refuge in me. I shall certainly protect you from all miseries. Brahma said on hearing these words, I, proud of being Brahma, became angry. Being deluded by illusion in a threatening attitude, I asked him, who are you? Why do you talk so much? Your words will bring up disaster. You are neither the Lord, nor the Supreme Brahman. There must be a creator of yours. Deluded by the illusion created by Shiva the great Lord, I fought a terrific battle with Vishnu. Inimical to each other due to Raju Guna, we fought a fierce battle in the middle of that vast expanse of the sea of dissolution. Meanwhile a phallic image appeared before us in order to enlighten us and to settle out dispute. It had no beginning, middle, or end. It had neither decrease nor increase. It was as furious as hundreds of the fire of death with thousands of leaping rows of flames. It was unequaled, inexpressible, unmanifest universal being. The Lord Vishnu became unconscious by its 1,000 flames. When I too became senseless, Vishnu said to me, "Oh, why do you contend with me now? A third person has now come. Let our quarrel cease. Whence has this arisen? Let us examine this fire being. I shall go down to find the root of this matchless column of fire. O Lord of subjects, with the speed of the wind you will please go up to examine its top." Brahma continues the story. Having said so, Vishnu assumed the form of a boar. O sage, I became a swan immediately. From that time onwards, people call me Humsa Humsa, a supreme being, Virat, an illustrious being. He who repeats Humsa, Humsa, shall become a swan, a symbol of purity and discrimination. Very white of complexion and endowed with wings on either side, I flew up and up with the speed of the mind and wind. Narayana, the soul of the universe too, became white then. His body was 10 yojanas wide and 100 yojanas long, as huge as the mountain Meru. He had white sharp teeth. His brilliance resembled the sun at the time of dissolution. His snort was long and his roar tremendous. His feet were short. His limbs were of diverse colors. His form as the boar was of matchless firmness, which assured his eagerness to be victorious, and he went down quickly. For 1,000 years his downward course continued. From that time onwards Vishnu came to be called Svetavadaha, white boar, in all the worlds. A kalpa had elapsed according to human calculation when Vishnu thus went down and wandered in his eagerness to come out victorious. The boar did not find even the smallest trace of the root of the linga. O destroyer of enemies, I too spent the same time in going up. From a desire to know its top as quickly as possible I exerted myself and was exhausted. Unable to see the top I came down after some time. Similarly, Lord Vishnu, the lotus-eyed, too became weary. Appearing like the Lord of everything in his huge body, he too rose up. As soon as he came up, we bowed to Shiva again and again. He stood aside with a gloomy mind as he too was deluded by the illusion of Shiva. We bowed down to Linga at his back, sides, and in front. He mused within himself, what can this be? That form can't be directly expressed. It is without action and name. Without any sex distinction it has become a linga. It is beyond the path of meditation. Both of us, Hari and I, with the peace of our minds, became eager to perform obeisance. We do not know thy true form, what thou art, O great Lord. Obeisance be to thee, O Mahasana. Please hurry up to reveal thy form to us, thus performing obeisance and prayer to quell our earlier pride, O foremost of sages. We spent 100 autumns therein. Chapter 8, the description of the body of Sabdabrahman. Brahma said, O most excellent sage, we were eager to have a vision of the Lord. Our haughtiness had been curbed. O sage, we waited there patiently. Shiva, the protector of the distressed, remover of the haughtiness of the haughty and the undecaying Lord of everything, took mercy on us. There arose the sound om in the prolate accent. It was very clear. The divine sound in the form of a word came out from the most excellent of gods. What shall be this great sound? Thinking like this I stood perplexed. Vishnu, who is worthy of respect from all the gods, who is free from all inimical thoughts, saw with the delightful heart, the eternal being's manifestation on the right side of the linga. First, he saw the syllable A and he saw the syllable U thereafter. He saw the syllable M in the middle and nada, the mystical sound, in the form om. In the end. He saw the first syllable on the right like the blazing sphere of the sun. O foremost of sages, thereafter he saw the syllable U dazzling like fire. In the middle he saw the syllable M glittering like the lunar sphere. Above that what he saw was the supreme Brahman, the greatest refuge. It had the luster of the pure crystal. It was the pure being, beyond the fourth, Turiya, the unsullied and free from extraneous harassment. It was free from mutually clashing opposites. It was single, isolated, void, free from exterior and interior, those stationed in the exterior and the interior, devoid of beginning, middle, and end, the primordial cause of bliss, the truth, the bliss, and the nectar. Vishnu thus meditated on the universal soul enveloped by the two Vedic sounds and wished to examine the source whence the fire column arose and to go deep down the unequaled fiery column. Then there came a sage who told him the essence of the truth. Vishnu realized that the sage himself was the great Lord and the supreme Brahman embodied in the Sabda Brahman, i.e. the mystic syllable om. The Brahman is Rudra, free from worries. The words and the mind are incapable of comprehending it, without reaching it they return. It can be expressed by the single-syllabled mantra Om. The Supreme Brahman, the Truth, the Bliss, the Amrita, the greatest of the great and the ultimate cause can be expressed by the single-syllabled mantra. The single syllable A is the source of the Lord Brahma. The single syllable U is the source of Vishnu, the ultimate cause. The single syllable M is the source of Rudra. The Creator is expressed by the letter A. The Enchanter is expressed by the letter U. The being expressed by the letter M blesses always. It is all-pervasive and progenitor. The letter A is the seed. The being expressed by the letter U is Vishnu. It is the source, the receptacle, the Lord of primordial nature and primordial being, the progenitor, the seed, source, and sound. All these constitute Lord Shiva. The progenitor is stationed after dividing itself. From the linga of the progenitor, the Lord, arose the seed, the syllable A, the bija being deposited in the yoni, the letter U began to increase all round. It became a golden egg. It was something known which could not be delineated. The divine egg floated in the waters for many years. Then at the end of 1,000 years, it split into two, giving birth to Brahma. The egg floating in the waters on being hit by Isvara split into two. The auspicious golden upper lid became the upper region and the lower one became the earth of 5 characteristics. From the inner part of the egg was born the four-faced Lord, Brahma, expressed by the letter Ka. He is the creator of all the worlds. He alone is the Lord manifesting in 3 forms. Persons well versed in the Yajurveda call it Om. On hearing the words of the Yajurveda, both the Rigveda and the Samaveda respectfully called us then Vishnu and Brahma. Then realizing the Lord of the gods we eulogized, as far as we could, Lord Shiva, the cause of great achievement. Vishnu, the protector of the universe, in the meantime, saw another wonderfully beautiful form, along with me. On seeing that wonderful form, Vishnu and I became satisfied. The form had 5 faces, 10 arms, and a complexion white as camphor, O sage. It had diverse brilliant features. It was decorated in different ornaments. It was highly liberal and endowed with great prowess. It had all the characteristics of a great man. Thereafter, the Lord Shiva was pleased. Revealing his form embedded in letters, he laughingly stood before us. The short letter A is his head. The long letter A is his forehead. The letter I is his right eye and the letter I his left eye. The letter U is his right ear and the letter O his left ear. The letter R is the right cheek of that great Lord. R is his left cheek. The 2 letters I are his nostrils. The letter E is his upper lip and the letter L is his lower lip. The letter O and the letter O are respectively the 2 rows of his teeth. The letters AM and Anusvara and Visarga are his palates. The 5 letters beginning with Ka, i.e. Ka, Ka, Ga, Ga, and Na are his 5 hands on the right side. The 5 letters beginning with Cha, that is Cha, Cch, Ja, Ja, and Na are his hands on the left side. Similarly, the 5 letters beginning with Ta and the 5 letters beginning with Ta constitute his legs. The letter Pa is his belly and the letter Fa is right side. The letter Ba is his left side. The letter Bha is his shoulder. The Jetar Ma is the heart of the great Yogin Mahadeva. The letters Ya, Ra, La, Va, Sa, Sa, and Sa are the 7 didus, vital secretions, of the Lord. The letter Ha is his umbilicus and the letter Ka is his nose. Vishnu and I became contented on seeing this letter embedded form of the Saguna manifestation of Nirguna Lord in the company of Uma. On seeing Lord Shiva in the form of the letter embedded Brahman, Vishnu bowed down along with me and looked up again. The mantra beginning with Omkara with its kalas 5 in number, consisting of the auspicious 38 syllables, being pure as crystal, increases intelligence and is an effective medium of accomplishing sacred rites. The mantras in the Gayatri meter of 24 syllables and having 4 kalas are conducive to enjoyment. The 5-syllabled mantra of 8 kalas consisting of 30 syllables is employed for black magic. Mantras of Yajurveda consisting of 25 syllables and 8 kalas are used for conciliatory purpose. The mantra of 13 kalas consisting of 61 syllables is conducive to outcome, increase, and destruction. The Lord Vishnu secured these 5 mantras: Mrityunjaya mantra, 5-syllabled mantra, Sintamani mantra, Dakshinamurti mantra, and the Tattvamasi mantra, which is Hara's Mahavakya. Lord Vishnu performed japa by means of these mantras. The Lord Vishnu and I, being glad at heart, eulogized the boon-bestowing Lord Shiva with appropriate words. Shiva, who was seen in the form of kalas, varnas, syllables, rik, yajas, saman, isana, isa, puratana purasa, the ancient being, the merciful, pleasing to the heart, hidden from all, ever auspicious, a great deity, of beautiful feet, bedecked with huge serpents, with legs, eyes and hands extending on all sides, the Lord of Brahma, and the cause of creation, sustenance, and destruction of the world. Chapter 9, Description of Shivatattva. Brahma said on hearing his own eulogy from the mouth of Vishnu, the delighted Shiva, the storehouse of kindness, revealed himself to us along with his consort. He had 5 faces and 3 eyes, and the crescent moon on his forehead. He wore matted hair. He was white complexioned and had wide eyes. His body had been dusted with the ashes. He had 10 arms. His neck was blue in color. He was bedecked with all ornaments. He was very handsome with respect to every limb. 3 ash lines marked his forehead. On seeing Lord Shiva accompanied by his beautiful consort, Vishnu along with me eulogized him again with appropriate words. Shiva, the merciful, who was delighted, breathed the Vedas into Vishnu and conferred perfect knowledge on him, the secret of the Supreme Atman. O sage, thereafter, out of sympathy, the Supreme Atman conferred these on me too. After receiving the Vedas, Vishnu was satisfied, and bowing to him with palms joined in reverence along with me, he asked the Lord Shiva. Vishnu said, O Lord, how are you propitiated? How shall I worship you, O Lord? How shall I meditate on you? How are you impressed by anyone? O great God, tell us what at thy bidding shall we ever do. Please command us, O Shiva, do this to favor us. O great Lord, be merciful to tell us all these things. O Shiva, we are your followers. Taking this into mid, you will enlighten us on these and other similar points too. Brahma said on hearing these words, the Lord Shiva was delighted. The merciful Lord then spoke lovingly. Shiva said, O foremost among gods, I am delighted by your devotion. Look upon me as a great deity. Cast off all your fears. Worship my linga and do always meditate upon the form which you see just before you. When I am worshipped in the phallic form, I will be delighted and will bestow different benefits upon all people, all that they wish for in their minds. O foremost among the deities, whenever any misery befalls you, it shall be destroyed when my linga is worshipped. O strong ones, you too are born of my own Prakriti, out of my left and right sides. I am the Lord of everything. This Brahma, grandfather for all people, is born of my right side. You, Vishnu, are born of my left side. I am the Supreme Atman. Delighted I shall confer on you boons and whatever you desire. May your devotion to me be steady. With my permission you can make my form in clay and perform adoration. After rendering different kinds of service like this sensibly you shall attain happiness. O Brahma, strictly adhering to my direction you carry on the work of creation. Dear child, dear Hari, you shall sustain the mobile and the immobile beings. Brahma said, saying thus, the Lord presented to us the auspicious mode of his worship, adored duly by means of which Shiva confers many benefits. On hearing the words of Shiva along with me, Vishnu bowed to Shiva with palms joined in reverence and said. Vishnu said, if you are pleased, if a boon is to be given to us, may our devotion to you be perpetual and unstraying. Although you are Nirguna, be pleased to incarnate in the course of your divine sports and help us. Dear Lord, you are great Lord, the Supreme. O Lord of Lords, even our dispute has turned out to be auspicious, now that you have come here to suppress the same. Brahma said. On hearing these words Shiva told Vishnu, who stood there with the head bent down and with palms joined in reverence. Shiva said, although Nirguna, I am Saguna too and the author of dissolution, maintenance, and creation. I am the Supreme Brahman without decay and change. Existence, knowledge, and bliss are my characteristics. Truly, I am Nirguna forever, O Hari. For the activities of creation, maintenance, and dissolution I manifest myself in the three forms of Brahma, Vishnu and Hara, O Vishnu. O Vishnu, since you, along with Brahma, have eulogized me and prayed for my incarnation, I shall make that request true, favorably disposed towards my devotees that I am. A great form similar to this, O Brahma, shall become manifest in the world through your body. He will be called Rudra. His capacity will never be less, since he will be my own part and parcel. He is I. I am he. In the modes of worship too therein no difference. As heat etc. in water and other things due to the contact of fire is not permanent in water etc., similarly my nirgal, aspect is not affected by the external contact. This form of mine as Shiva is that of Rudra too. O great sage, no one shall make any difference in it. The same form appears split into two in the universe. Hence Shiva and Rudra shall not be considered different. A piece of gold turned into an ornament does not cease to be gold. There may be difference in name but not in the material content. Just as the difference of clay and the various objects made of it is not a material one, so also in this case. The presence of the material cause in the effect can be cited as an example.